Good evening, YouTube. First of all, I should start the video as I do with all of them, and tonight we are sponsored by Bell's Whiskey. And I would like to also tell you that tonight is now my 8th attempt at doing this video. Before I upload something, I'll watch it, and if I think I come off like a twat, then I won't upload it, and I am my worst critic, and I've watched it a few times and gone, you know what, I don't like what I've just said. So this is my 8th attempt. The problem is, every time I try and do this video, I'm always drinking. So now this is my 8th attempt at drinking this drink and talking to you guys. So I'm starting to get into the night. I've had a few drinks, but nonetheless, I've got some things. In fact, I've got a lot to talk about. The thing is, I'm off now, and I'm off for 9 days, which is absolutely awesome. The reason for it is my birthday is on Thursday, and a random thing is, I didn't actually know how old I was, which a lot of people would go, you're a prat. I thought I was 27. I don't at all take anything on my age. I just live life, and then when people say how old are you, I go 27. And I went onto YouTube, onto my profile page, just to see how many hits I've got, and it says 26. And I thought, oh, I'm 26. I've put my birthday in wrong. I've checked, and I'm actually 26, which is awesome because for the entire year I've been living as a 27-year-old. I'm never bothered about birthdays or anything. I just assumed I was 27, and on Thursday I would turn 28. But I actually turned 27 on Thursday, which is awesome because I've lived the life of a 27-year-old, and I'm about to turn 27, so I kind of skipped a year, which is fucking awesome. So you might think I'm an idiot. I spoke to a bloke at work the other day, and he says, what's your weight, size and age, was a very random thing to say to somebody. I says, don't know my weight, don't know my height, and I don't even know my age. I said, I think I'm 27, jumped on YouTube again, checked, and I went, yeah, I am 26. And he said, well, to tell the truth, if you don't know these things, that means you're living a really happy life. If these things are things that you don't really concentrate on or worry about, then obviously you're living a happy life because you're not worrying about them. And I don't worry about things like that. As long as something's not broke on my body, I'm a happy guy. So yes, birthday's coming up. I'm going to be a year younger somehow, and everything's happy. So first of all, I want to slightly touch on something I did last week, and that was to do a little rant about the 3DS. I experienced it, and the thing is, Joe, aka the fangirl, actually experienced it, and both of us turned around and says we didn't experience 3D coming out at us. And a few people have commented on the video and says, I have. So I just wanted to say that I could be wrong on that video. What I've experienced didn't pop out. I've not experienced anything like that. I spoke to the staff and they said, yeah, it don't really pop out here, does it? But it's depth. And it's enjoyable. It's really nice 3D. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this unit is shit. I'm just saying the adverts make Mario go on your face. And I didn't experience that. They've said they've had 3D popping out of them, only to about 3 centimetres, but not all the way up to the nose. So all I wanted to say is, apparently it can come out of the screen 3 centimetres, but it won't smash you on the nose. So I am correct in that, but I am wrong in the sense that it doesn't come out the screen. Well, I think I could be wrong. They said they've experienced it, and if you've experienced it differently, then fair enough, I could be wrong. I'm just talking on what I played at the time, spoke to the staff and said what I saw, and that's what the review was based on. So I could be slightly wrong on that, but I'm not going to go into it too much. I've already spoke about it, but I'm just saying I could be slightly wrong on that. What I wanted to talk about more than anything was, well, it was Mass Effect. And I've been, in fact, you know what, I'm going to sidetrack it. I am actually going to talk about Mass Effect. Mass Effect is completely taken over my life. This is a game which I've never experienced before. I've played Fallout and I've enjoyed it. I've played like Call of Duty. I've played games and I really like games, and I've gone, this is an awesome game. But never have I fell in love with a game as much as I have with Mass Effect. And people have things like Star Wars. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but for instance, you people that enjoy Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that, they don't just watch it. They get the books, they learn the history, they know everything. It's a religion to them. And I've never ever had something like that. And Mass Effect is my religion. I'm not saying it's not my religion as such, but that's how hard I fell in love with the game. And Mass Effect 1 just made me go, wow, this is a bloody good game. And Mass Effect 2, which I'm playing through at the moment, I haven't clocked it completely yet, but I'm just like, this. I'm so glad I started playing Mass Effects. These have completely changed the way I look at games. I am completely in love with it. And what I was deciding to do was on the shelf I want to have, sorry, on the back wall I want to have a few shelves. And what I decided to do is, I know a few people decide to do like full collections and stuff like that. I've not got the money, nor do I want to have a full collection, because I don't want to have all them shit sports games on my collection. Nothing against people that do it. It's awesome to be able to say I have the full Mega Drive collection or something like that, but I haven't got the patience and time and money to do something like that. But I like to have dedicated areas to something, and I thought, right, I'm going to dedicate them to particular games. And the first shelf is going to be a Mass Effect shelf. It's like, right, I can get the Mass Effect limited edition version. There's loads of bits and bobs I can buy for Mass Effect. It's like, awesome. So I was looking through, I was like, what can I buy? Like figures and stuff like that. And there's only like 4 figures out for Mass Effect, and one of them is Shepard, Captain Shepard. And the thing is, Mass Effect is one of them games where you customise your character. So my character's got a skinhead and looks like me. And I don't want to buy a figure that doesn't look like me, because that's the generic Shepard. So I was like, well, I don't want to buy them, so what can I put on my shelf addition to just the games? And I was looking through and I thought, you know what, a nice juicy weapon, a nice good, there's an M8 gun in the game, and I thought I'd like a replica of that gun. I was looking through and it's impossible to buy one of them, and with a bit of searching I find a woman who does replica papercraft weapons of all different games. And she luckily enough had a Mass Effect M8 gun. I thought, oh, that's awesome, I'm going to have a bit of that. And it's 18 pages long and looks a bit like this. It's just got like random bits, you know what I mean, cut around it, and that's it. So looking at that, you go, oh, that's quick, cut it out, glue it together, job's good. And that's what I thought. So I printed the first page out at work, and I did it in black and white and on paper. I thought, I don't want to make the gun out of paper, but just as a demo, just want to see how much time and effort I would have to put into making it. Now I made this, which is the actual handle of it. And what I'm impressed by is it doesn't feel square and bulkhead. What it is like they've put all the ridges around it. So when you actually hold the weapon, like obviously it would sit on top of it and there's where the trigger would lay, but it feels nice in your hands. It doesn't feel like you're holding like a Kellogg's box or something like that. And I was like, right, I am building this weapon. But that, as small as it is, took me about 2 hours to create. So with that in mind, I kind of thought, right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start doing it. So this, which you think is quite small, I decided to cut out, and after 2 hours later, I've got to this, which is the actual grill of the gun. And as good as I think it looks, and I can't wait to make the weapon, I've kind of done a few calculations and I realised it's going to take me about 40 hours to pull this weapon off. And I'm going to do it, because I like the idea of having a shelf, having a weapon, having an M8, M8 to 8, Christ, I'm all messed up, M8 replica on the shelf, and people will look at it and go, where did you buy that? And I'm going, you didn't. You got put 40 hours into it, and that's the only way you can get that gun. And I'm quite enjoying the fact with that. But the thing is, people who make these replicas have got like really nice craft knives, proper glue and stuff like that. I'm working from a CD which has got some Builders PVA glue, and this is a snap piece off a CD, and I'm just doing that and dabbing it on. So I'm doing this really ropey, which probably is adding a bit of time onto the entire thing, but I'm going to do it. So hopefully within the next 40 hours, not the next 40 hours, but within 40 hours of working, I'll be able to pull out an M8 replica, and I'll do a separate video for it. But that just shows how much that game means to me. So if you've not played it, should play it, but I will sell it to you in a separate video. But with that aside, I've talked about 3DS, I've talked about Mass Effect, and what I want to talk about is one of my friends on Xbox Live. I've got like 4 or 5 of us, and people pop in, and we've got a really tight group of people on Xbox, and I absolutely love them to bits. I started talking to them about 3 years ago. I got the Xbox, jumped online, spoke to my best mate who was talking to these random dudes. With that, I jumped on, started talking to them, we got a bit friendly, and I met them once, and they're the soundest guys I've ever met in my entire life, and they're coming down in about 3 weeks. In fact, it's for the entire royal wedding. They're coming down on the royal wedding, so we are going to get pissed on that. And the bunch of decent guys, so I just want to talk a bit about them. And don't worry, it's not going to be boring. The first thing is, one guy I've been talking to is Danny. and he just told me something which I decided to involve in this video. And what it was, he bought Dragon Age 2 from Game Station. Shit, I'm just panicking now because I just saw a flashing light saying your battery's about to run low, so fingers crossed this will put it off. But anyway, Danny says to me he brought Dragon Age from Game Station. He paid for it on his card, pre-ordered it ages ago, and the game came out and he never received his copy. So he phoned up Game Station, he says, what the fuck? And they turn around to him and says, your card got declined, so you didn't get your copy. And if somebody told me that, I'd be like, bastard, and left it at that. But lucky enough, Danny probed a bit more, and he phoned his bank up and says, can you tell me when I've had a card declined or any transactions that have happened on my card? And they said nothing's happened at all. So he's gone back to Game Station and says, like, that's bollocks, you didn't even try and take the money. For one, they even gave him a tracking number for his order, so obviously it went through the pipeline so far. And it's kind of going up now because he's arguing the toss. He's not giving up like I would have done. He's actually saying, well, I pre-ordered this, where the fuck is my copy? And they're turning around saying, well, we've got no more pre-order copies, sorry, you haven't got a game. And he's arguing the toss, and it's getting higher and higher, which is awesome. And when I find out what actually happens, I will definitely tell you. But I wanted to ask, what in fact he asked me to ask you, has anybody been stiffed by a game company like that? I'm not just saying like random shit that happens, but have you ever pre-ordered something and they've turned around and gone, no, this hasn't happened, or something like that, where you've gone, actually, I think they could be lying there? Has anything happened like that? And if so, put it in the comments, because I'm really interested to see how often, as gamers, we get stiffed. The other thing is, I want to talk about two other guys that I play online with. One is a guy called Father, and he's an absolute legend, and I've asked him to come in and do some gameplay videos with me, because to me, I've said he's wasted in his job. I think he should be a comedian because he's the funniest bloke I know. And he's told me to give me a shout out because he wants his ego to be bigger. There you go. Now you feel worse, don't you? But no, he's a really funny guy, and we've decided we're going to do a podcast together because we every single night we spend about 2-3 hours talking together, and we've got a lot to say. And when we talk about games, I think we really have a good 2 cents what we chuck in about things. So we said, you know what, we should do a podcast. So we're going to order the headsets, we're going to try and put a podcast together, and we're still beating about the name. We've done a few demos online, just pretending it was a podcast, and we spoke. And I think we did really well. So we're going to be doing a podcast soon. And the other person I want to talk about is another guy who will be in the podcast, and he's called Jimmy Prescott. And he's been getting into his retro gaming lately. He's been watching a few of my videos and said they're quite interesting. And I just said, what the fuck? If you're getting retro gaming, you're playing current gen gaming, and you're watching videos on YouTube, why the hell aren't you filming them? So by next week, hopefully, he's got his channel up. He's made his channel, but he's got no videos just yet. So fingers crossed, next Friday I can say, look at this guy. And I would definitely say, when his channel's up, I wouldn't normally say shout at somebody who's got one video because it's pointless. You'll look at it and go, well, I can't base that on one video. But sometimes when you watch somebody who's really, really good, you go back and watch all their videos, and I can already see in him being really good because he's a funny guy, genuine guy. And I think when somebody watches his videos, they'll end up going back through them all. So when he pulls off his video next week, I'll tell you about it. I'll give you the address and watch him from day one, because I reckon it's going to be one of the videos that you watch all the way through because it's really, really interesting. So that's my entire Xbox collective rant. So fingers crossed, when the podcast comes about, I'll definitely shout about it. But I'm coming up to about 50 seconds left, and I just want one little rant, and that is, we've been playing Left 4 Dead, and Jo enjoys Xbox, so she plays as a secondary player. So I'm playing, she's playing split screen, but I'm listening to all my mates, and as I said, I think really funny guys, and things we say really make us laugh, but she can't experience it. Even though she's player 2, we can't plug a second headset in and join her into the party. That really, really angers me. I can't understand why Microsoft haven't turned around and gone, there you go, if you can play 2-player, you can listen 2-player. If we were off shooting and someone's going, quick, kill the witch, why can't she get that feedback in her tab? And it's a completely stupid thing that Microsoft's not introduced into the game. I've got 10 seconds, got to cut it off. Really sorry guys, so much to rant about, but I've come up to my quota.